St. Catharines, April 19, 1942. Dear Margie. Received your letter last Thursday, dear, and would have written then, but no checks until Friday night. They moved the big shovel up the hill Friday, and we had to stay on the job until nearly 12 o'clock that night. There wasn't much work for us to do, but we had to stay on the job just in case. Of course, I had to get wet early in the evening and was about frozen when I got home. Then 6 o'clock came early the next morning and was Saturday, ever cold and windy. The result, I have a real cold, so I'm staying in today and doing a little mending, socks mostly, and gosh do I hate mending socks. There is a swell program on the radio, all waltzes. I wish we were dancing to it, dear, someplace with a good floor, lots of room and nobody around. 2 weeks is a long time to be separated, isn't it, dear? I am enclosing money, dear, and when you have finished with it you can apply it to the radio unless we need it for some other purpose. I hope to get in some overtime this next week, and it all helps, because it's money we need, darling, if we are to get hitched with something to get a start on AA. What of next week, darling? Are you coming over here, or am I to come to Toronto? The reason I would like to know is I would like to make some arrangements for Sunday. Tex and Connie want to take us out to the job in the afternoon for a few hours. Well, darling, I am trying to write this on my knee and listen to the radio at the same time, so you will have to excuse the scratches. Write soon, darling, and remember I love you. As ever. Roger XXXX. XX, a Cedar Wild special to be continued. St. Catharines, Friday. May 8, 1942. Dear Margie. Thanks, dear, for the letter received yesterday. Sorry, I didn't get mine in before, but have been pretty busy working Wednesday and last night until about 10 o'clock, so didn't feel like anything but bed. There has been practically nothing to do during the days but repair work on machines after 6. There was a layoff Wednesday and maybe another this coming week, so I may have a couple of days in Toronto. Although would rather not take these at this time of year. Got rather a pleasant surprise last night. A letter from George Tuff with 3,900 shares of stock in it, the final payment on work I did for him, and was afraid I wouldn't get it. But he informs me that the property is in good standing and that a large mining company has an option on the property. But of course, cannot start operations until after the war. Anyways, it may mean something to us yet, eh? We will buy a sailboat and cruise the South Seas, what say? Gosh, I almost forgot Mother's Day until this morning. So had Mrs. Stoner get me stockings and send, hope they arrive in time. I would like to be coming over this Sunday, dear. But feel that we can't afford it. The money is needed for other things. Last weekend was a perfect weekend, wasn't it, dear? Just think we will soon have them all like that. Well, darling, it's 8 o'clock and I want to run uptown for a few minutes to see some tools a chap has for sale, so we'll have to get moving. All my love, darling, will write again Sunday and give you the news. As ever. Roger XXX, Cedar Wild Special. St. Catharines, Sunday, May 10, 1942. Dear Margie. Well, here it is, another Sunday, dear, and what a lazy day it's been for me. Bought a couple of home and garden magazines last night and have been having lots of fun designing home layouts and trying to estimate costs. I have worked out one plan that looks pretty practical to me and would also look nice. Lots of room for expansion if necessary. I saw Fostoria last night, dear, and it was all you said it would be, dear, only wish we could have seen it together. If more pictures like that were shown, people would learn to appreciate good music and we wouldn't have so much of this jam session clatter that's forced upon us. One thing, darling, we like the same music, so we won't be having private wars because of radio programs. Twice today good music was turned off for stories. It makes me a little irritable and afraid it showed, because when I came downstairs for dinner Helga asked with a grin, "You don't like radio stories, do you?" Things are getting pretty quiet at the job. Yesterday afternoon there was absolutely nothing to do, so rather than go home one of the fins and I hiked back in the bush and enjoyed nature. The son of a gun knew nearly all the names of the plants and flowers. We ended up picking violets and lowland cornflowers. I brought my lunch bucket home full of violets. Mrs. Stoner was quite pleased. Today everyone in the house is wearing violets, and do I ever take the raspberry as the hard-working man? Well, Margie, I can't think of anything more to say. Of course, I'll be over next weekend. If there's a layoff, we'll be over sooner and we'll try Oakville. However, we'll see what you have to say first. Huge bye for the present, darling, all my love and Jean de Chus. As ever. Roger XXXX.